This is a question from Brian who asks, what would happen if Earth suddenly stopped spinning? Well, Brian, first of all, nice knowing you. Because for the first few moments, almost everyone on the planet would die. But let's not rush it. We still have a few seconds to explain before the air decides to erase civilization. See, right now, you're moving at over 1,600 kilometers per hour thanks to Earth's rotation. You can't feel it, but the ground beneath you is spinning eastward at the speed of a passenger jet. Now imagine the Earth's crust, the ground, the buildings, the oceans, all coming to an instant stop, while the atmosphere keeps going. At the equator, that means the air would suddenly start moving at over 1,000 miles per hour relative to the ground. In other words, a supersonic hurricane wrapping around the planet. For the first minute or two, the air would be moving faster than sound, shredding everything in its path. Houses, trees, people, cars, all turned into high-speed projectiles. If you're lucky enough to be deep underground or in a bunker built like a nuclear silo, you might survive the first wave. But even then, you'd better hope your neighbor doesn't have a cheaper bunker, because at Mach 1, their entire house could crash into yours. The devastation would be worse near the equator, where the rotational speed is highest. Cities like Singapore, Nairobi, and Sao Paulo would vanish instantly. Between 42 degrees north and 42 degrees south, which is where most humans live, the winds would be strong enough to flatten concrete buildings and rip the ground bare. Up near the poles, things would be calmer, if you can call once-in-a-lifetime superstorm calm. The closer you are to the axis, the slower the Earth was spinning to begin with. The scientists at the South Pole would probably be the only humans to witness the event and think, that's strange, before realizing the sun had stopped moving across the sky. Meanwhile, the oceans would go berserk. The water that had been lazily rotating with the planet would surge eastward, creating a global mega tsunami hundreds of meters high. Every west-facing coast would be swallowed by a wall of water that would travel for thousands of kilometers inland. The boundary between sea and air would blur. The ocean would literally turn into flying water. The friction between the atmosphere and the ground would heat up the air dramatically. Imagine the entire planet wrapped in a friction oven. Dust, smoke, and vaporized water would mix into a thick fog that could blanket the world for months. Thunderstorms would rage everywhere. Lightning would strike more times in a few hours than in all of human history combined. But eventually the chaos would settle. The winds would slow, the oceans would resettle. Sort of. By that point, the continents would be unrecognizable, and our planet would have a much bigger problem. Time itself would change. Without rotation, there would be no day and night as we know them. The sun would appear to freeze in the sky. It would still move very slowly, Manin, taking an entire year to rise and set once. One side of the Earth would face the sun for 6 months straight, boiling under unending daylight. The other side would be plunged into 6 months of night, freezing into darkness. The atmosphere would start to migrate, hot air from the day side rushing toward the cold night side, creating global winds that never stop. Temperatures would swing between extremes, scorching deserts on one side, frozen wastelands on the other. The middle zone, the twilight strip between day and night, might be the only habitable region left, a thin band where humans could survive. Meanwhile, the moon would quietly tug on Earth, trying to get things moving again. You see, the moon is like that friend who insists on helping you up after you've fallen. Slowly, clumsily, but with persistence. Over thousands of years, its gravity would transfer momentum back to the planet, gradually making Earth spin again, but so slowly that a single rotation might take several thousand years. By then, the Earth we know would be gone. Continents reshaped, oceans relocated, life completely changed. Maybe some humans would still be around, huddled in the eternal twilight, telling stories of the time the world stood still. And if any of them remember you, Brian, they'll know who to blame. So, next time you're standing outside feeling the breeze on your face, take a deep breath and be grateful for one simple thing. The ground beneath you is moving very, very fast, and that's exactly how we like it.